Words to feel well. Spoken words. In 2008, I had a nervous breakdown. In the clinical sense, I was deeply depressed and suffering from severe anxiety. I was in school for massage therapy. My husband and I had just bought a house and were renovating. I was in a new position at work and fully overloaded in the stress department. I took a leave from work for a few months and spent a great deal of time in bed. At the time, I was engaging in talk therapy with a counselor, which was helping, and I was also taking citalopram, which helped less so. I stopped taking it within a few months of starting. When I finally went back to work, I was equipped with new tools in my toolbox to help me battle against my anxiety. The negative thinking that had helped lead me down the path into depression and a new outlook on things that really mattered to me. The job I had at the time did not fit well into that category. It took a few months for me to find something new, but I left the corporate world for something smaller and more focused, and I loved it. I could relate to people on a more personal level, and it was exactly what my brain and personality needed to feel happy. Fast forward to present day, and I find myself in the middle of another depression. To say I am frustrated is an understatement. I feel as though I have let myself down. Didn't I learn my lesson from the last time? It has been a decade. How did I let these things slide so terribly that I find myself in this situation again? This time around is a bit different though. My anxiety is not playing as large of a role now, the main culprit being a persistent depressive state that is suffocating as a wet blanket over my head. And if I'm being really honest, this isn't too much of a surprise either. If I look back over the past 10 years, I can easily say this was a long time in the making, and I could have done a better job of paying attention to the signs along my path. Shame on me. If I have learned any lessons, however, it is to forgive myself when I figure out that I have fucked shit up. It sucks. It makes things harder for me in the short term, but it is done. I, quite unfortunately, cannot go back in time to change things on a do-over, so the only option left is to move forward. So here I am, pouring out my words to help soothe my soul and give my brain something to focus on daily other than the negative talk that it is so great at generating. I almost vomited at the effort it took to admit to myself that I wasn't fine and haven't been fine for quite some time. I mustered the courage to ask my doctor for help. I swallow the meds each day in an attempt to soak my brain in serotonin to regain my baseline. And I try to break up my days into manageable tasks and be gentle with myself and my to-do list. I take it one day at a time, sometimes 1 hour at a time, sometimes each minute. My only option is to master this depression. I refuse to let a chemical imbalance prohibit me from living my best life for myself and for my family. It won't happen overnight. Oh, how I wish it could happen overnight. And I acknowledge that this is something I live with, which needs constant attention. I'm working on it.
Words to feel well.wordpress.com